welcome to Thrive. I'm Susana Kennedy, and today we are thriving in mindset and happiness with one of my favorite people in the world, Robin Banks. Robin is an international speaker and mind power expert, and he literally has thousands of students that have transformed their lives by harnessing the power of their minds. And he's here today to speak about believing in miracles. And with today's climate, everything that's happening in the world, who wouldn't want to know how to believe in miracles? In fact, everybody that's on the call right now, give me a comment below, a little thumbs up if you'd like to learn how to believe in miracles. And I'm going to now welcome Robin. Robin, how are you doing today?
If I was any better, I'd be twins. No, I'm doing very, very well, Susana. Happy to be with you and the Thrive community. I really hope that everybody is indeed thriving. These are very, very interesting times that we are in. And I think now more than ever before, we need people who have vision, people who are holding the light for many who are going through a lot of change on the planet. So really, really happy to be here with you, as always, and to share this opportunity with everybody. Thank you for having me.
I absolutely agree. I mean, that is what the Thrive Network was born out of, was that I think now more so than ever, and it seems to be accelerating in that direction, we need people to be the light that they wish to see in the world. That saying is so relevant right now. And I know that you equip people in that way, in such a profound way. I remember watching Robin doing his first introductory mind power talk, and I immediately knew that I needed to work with him because I could feel the change in the audience was palpable. It was actually palpable. And I thought, this is somebody I want to work with. And that was 6 years ago now. Well, five and a half years ago now. And Robin and I work together and we've become great friends. But his talks are packed with knowledge. In fact, I know you're doing a Mind Power seminar at the moment. And some people will have missed that, but I will put a link up so that you can follow Robin and make sure that you don't miss out on the next one. But right now, let's just chat a little bit about believing in miracles. What does that mean for you?
Well, I want to start off by sharing with you guys a mantra that actually I got from my mentor, John Kehoe. He wrote the book Mind Power. And when I first did one of his follow-on seminars, which is actually called The Awakening, every night before we had a meal, we'd say a blessing on the meal. And the blessing goes as follows. Miracles shall follow miracles. Wonders shall never cease. I give thanks for this perfect day. Miracles shall follow miracles. Wonders shall never cease. I give thanks for this perfect day. And it was such a beautiful thing to do every single night before we had our evening meal. And just to really affirm to yourself that miracles happen every day. And I think so often we're under the impression that a miracle needs to be something that's impossible. That is like, I don't know, flying or turning water into wine, or, but everyday miracles happen all the time. If we will just tune into them and see that around us every single day, there is incredible beauty. There are miracles that take place all the time. And so one of the things I encourage people to do is look for the 1,000 amazing things that are happening all the day. Take time to appreciate the small little miracles. But really what we also want to speak about today as well, Susana, is for me another aspect of miracles is I can't tell you how many times in my life I have achieved things that people have said it can't be done, or you'll never make that flight, Robin. It's like, I remember once being so late for a flight. Oh, and in fact, I could tell you a few stories about flights, but
I know.
I've gotten a lot better. I take advantage of my mind power and my ability to manifest miracles far too many times. And I thought I'd better start taking responsibility before my luck runs out. But I'll give you a couple of stories. One was, I remember arriving at the Gautrain, and I think what had happened with this particular one is that the traffic was so bad. And that's right, I was flying to London, and my brother-in-law was taking me to the airport because I'd finished a seminar and I was rushing to the airport, and there was this massive traffic jam on the N3 highway, which is one of the main highways that leads towards the airport. And when we got to the Marlborough turnoff, I said to him, there is no way I'm going to make this flight if we stay in this traffic. So I said, turn off here. Let's go to the Gautrain. So we went to the Marlborough Gautrain, and I got on and I mean, I literally just, as I arrived, how amazing is this? Because there's something that I also want to share with people called the power of intention. When you hold an intention so clearly in your mind that you're not allowed to entertain any other possibility. So the intention I was holding in my mind is that I am on that plane. I am going to be on that flight, come hell or high water. And I just visualized myself sitting down, having my champagne as we were taking off, and giving deep thanks for this miracle that has taken place. So that's what I'm visualizing, because I was driving, as I'm literally driving like a madman to get to Marlborough Station. Got to Marlborough Station, jumped out of the car. As I come running in, literally the Gautrain had just pulled up and the doors opened. I ran in and got into the Gautrain, and somebody said, "Are you okay?" I said, no. I said, just trying to create a miracle at the moment. And this lady says, "What's your miracle?" I said, "Well, my flight takes off in 55 minutes. And she says, "Oh, is it a local flight?" I said, "No, it's international." Oh, no, you'll never make that flight. You'll never make that flight. I said, "Well, I believe in miracles." And she said, "Okay, good luck." And she kind of was rolling her eyes. Anyhow, 8 minutes later, I pulled up. So this is like, Susana, 47 minutes before takeoff. 8 minutes later, now, 8 minutes later, I pulled up at the thing, and I'm running like a madman. I mean, if anybody saw me in the airport, and all I'm holding is this vision of myself on the plane, Fortunately, I'd already been checked in, but I did have to drop a bag off. Ooh, a bag. And as I came rushing up, and I came running around, the bloody bag was flying behind me. And I come up to the woman at the front desk. She says, "Sir, please don't tell me you're on the flight to London that was just closed." I said, "I'm on that flight." She says, "Sir, you're not going to make it." I said, "Well, if there was a way I could make it, how could I?" She says, "You could fly tomorrow." I said, "That's not going to work. I really need to be on this flight." She says, "Well, it's closed." I said, "Is there anybody who we could phone?" She said, "Now, I'm not trying to be pushy, because the worst thing you can do is some people become loud and irritable, and you guys, and don't blame them. I'm late. It's not her fault." So I said, "Is there anything you can do?" So I really was eating humble pie. She said, "Well, I guess I could call my manager." I said, "That would be wonderful." So she calls the manager. She says, "Listen, does he have a bag to check in?" So she says, "Yes, he has a bag." She says, "I don't think." I said, "Well, listen, let's check it in. If the bag makes it tomorrow, that's fine. But I need to make it today." So needless to say, the bag gets on. This woman says, "Well, let's see if he makes it." And I ran like a madman, and literally they were almost closing the door as I ran into the plane. And there I was, sitting and having my champagne, and I went, I've been in this moment before. I believe in miracles. So that is one of many. I'll share with you another, and then I'll open up to you, because you know the one I really want to speak to about, which I'll tell you about. But the second one, I remember leaving my office in Northcliffe, probably about 5 years ago now, 6 years ago. Actually, probably longer. Anyhow, it doesn't matter when. As I'm getting into the car, and I pull off to go to the airport, I realize that no matter how fast I drive, even if there's no traffic on the road, it is physically impossible for me to make this flight. There's no way I'm going to get to the airport on time. So I phoned my team, and I said to them, "Guys, we need a miracle." They said, "Why, Rob? What do you need?" I said, "Well, no matter how fast I drive, and even if there was zero traffic on the road," which of course we know this is Johannesburg, there's lots of traffic on the road, "it is physically impossible for me to get there in time to board my flight. But I have to be on that flight." They said, "Well, Rob, what can you do? You're saying it's physically impossible." I said, "There is something we can do." They said, "What is that?" I said, "Well, I'd like you to hold the vision and hold the intention with me that the flight is going to be delayed by half an hour." I said, "Okay, Rob, if that's what you want." I said, "Let's just hold the vision that the flight's been delayed half an hour. And as I'm driving, I am so focused. And as I'm driving, all I'm thinking to myself is the flight's going to be delayed by half an hour. The flight's been delayed by half an hour. The flight's been delayed by half an hour. The flight's been delayed by half an hour. I got to the airport again, like a madman, running. And as I come up to the woman, the lady says, Mr. Banks, because I fly a lot, they recognize me. She says, are you on the flight to Durban? So I said, yes, I am. She says, you do know you're late? I said, yes, I do know. She says, do you know that you're a very, very lucky man? I said, yes, that's one thing I do know. I'm a very lucky man. Because that's another thing. Believe that you're a lucky person. The only way you become lucky is by believing you're lucky. And she said, I said, yes, I'm a very lucky person. She says, you're not going to believe what's happened. I said, the flight's been delayed by half an hour, hasn't it? She says, how did you know? I said, lucky guess. I swear, Susana, the flight
I know, because I was in my home in Bantry Bay when you sent that message to me. And I will never forget that day, because I remember it. You sent me a message. You said, I have to get on this flight. Please hold this vision. Yeah. I was in Bantry Bay, and I remember sitting down, going into meditation, and picturing somebody at the airport saying to you, actually a woman, saying to you, the flight's been delayed by half an hour. So I remember this. I remember it very clearly, Bang.
No, that's so cool, because you see, I didn't know, I'd forgotten that I'd asked you to do that. And here's part of the secret, guys. Everything is made up of energy and vibration. This is what we teach in Mind Power, that we live in a world of energy and vibration. The walls are made up of energy, the table's made up of energy, you are made up of energy, and everything's made up of energy. So if you think about it, when you're not well, or if somebody in your family is not well, what do we tend to do? You say, well, I'll tell your mother I'm praying for her. Or I'll hold you in my prayers, or I'm thinking about you. And so what we do when we do that is we combinedly start sending energy and healing to that particular person. So when, you see, as a human being, you are a creator, and the energy you put out as an individual has a powerful intention. But think of it as a cable. Now, what is a cable really made up of? A cable is made up of lots of single strands of cable. Now, the one single strand is strong because it is metal, but there's no way a single strand of cable attached to a magnet, you know, when you go to the scrapyard, how those magnets, those big magnets come on top of the roof of the car, and then it pulls it up and then goes and drops it into the crusher and it gets crushed. So what's the cable made up of? The cable is made up of lots of little single strands. So one strand on its own would never be able to pick up that car. But hundreds of these cables, of these strands, wound together, create an incredibly powerful cable, which makes it almost unbreakable. So in the same way, you holding the intention is strong. But if other people, as you were just saying, Susana, like I call other people to support me, and I say, listen, do me a favor, just hold this vision in my mind. Just hold this intention for me. Because if enough of us can hold the intention together, it creates a much stronger frequency. So I'm so delighted that you were part of that journey. I'd forgotten that. So yeah, really believing in miracles is about having a clear intention. Sorry, go ahead.
No. I was just going to say, no, I remember it very clearly, because you phoned me, you sent me a message, and you were in such a rush and such a flurry. In fact, it was a voice note. And I remember exactly where I was in my house. I had just walked out my kitchen. I know exactly where I was, and I literally sat down, went into like a vision straight away on the floor between my lounge and my entrance. So I remember it very, very, very clearly. For all of you that are watching right now, whether you're watching a recording of this or whether you're watching it live, what Robin is speaking about in terms of the energy that is created, that's why I say to you that I always repeat that we live in a universe that is made up of energy. And I truly believe with everything in my being that you're receiving this information at the exact right time for you. Wherever you are on your soul's path, your soul's evolution, even if you've heard it before, perhaps you needed to be reminded. So pay attention. And for those of you that can resonate with these miracles that sometimes happen when you set the right intention, please just comment below and just give us a thumbs up or say, yes, me too, so that we know, because I love looking through the comments and seeing how many people this resonates with. And also let me know what country you're tuning in from, because we are tuning into a global community, which I absolutely love. So let us know. And then if there's a friend of yours that would benefit from this information, please just tag them in the comments as well below. So Robs, there's lots of different types of miracles, and you were talking about setting the intention, like collective energy. And I find that a lot of coaches are actually moving towards collective calls because of the collective energy that comes in, like you talking about now. And I've noticed it. It's one of the reasons why I love Thrive so much, is when we've got a group of people together that are obviously like-minded, and it creates this wonderful collective energy. And I know that you're doing Mind Power online for the first time now. How has that experience been for you? Because you are now tapped into a wider collective, even though you are online, than you've ever been before.
Well, interestingly, it's another great example, Susana, of believing in miracles, because in March, we went into lockdown in South Africa on the 27th of March, if I remember correctly. And what had happened for us is I remember doing my last live event on the 16th of March in Johannesburg at a place called the Wondrous Country Club in Ilovo. And there were about 800 people in the room that night. And I must say, I felt so uncomfortable. I just thought, this is so irresponsible of me. I mean, here I am. We know that the coronavirus has made landfall in South Africa. We had very few cases at the time. I think we had like 17 cases. But still, I just suddenly thought, if one person in this room has the virus, we could spread it to 10, 20% of the people in the room. And the funny thing is, as people were coming up to me to say hi, you know, I was like giving them the foot tap or giving them the elbow, and people were like, ah, Robin, man, you're so funny, man. And they're touching me and hugging me, and I'm going, don't touch me. Because what I was concerned about is, let's just say this person has the virus and they don't know, and they touch me, and then I touch the next person touches me, and then they touch, it spreads so quickly.
Yeah.
And so I said to my team on the next day, the 17th of March, I said, we can't do this. This is completely irresponsible. And they said, but Rob, this is our business model. What are we going to do? We run seminars. Our business model is running seminars for hundreds and thousands of people at a time. And suddenly, my entire business model was coming to an end. And my team was saying, well, why don't you think about it over the weekend? I said, there's nothing to think about. We can't do this. And on Sunday, the 19th of March, President Cyril Ramaphosa came out and said that one of the things was that we can't have gatherings of more than 100 people at a time. And I went, well, there you go. There's nothing to think about. The decision's made. And why I'm sharing this with you, Susana, is that initially, because there may be some of you right now who are still going through anxiety, maybe your way of being has been compromised. And for some of you, maybe it's come to a complete standstill, as mine did. 90% or 95% of my business was live. Only about 5 to 10% of it was online. And I went into incredible panic. I had an incredible amount of anxiety because I suddenly thought, what am I going to do? And so it's normal to feel anxious. And so I just want you guys to know that feeling feelings is part of the journey of transformation. People who are successful are not successful because they don't have the feelings, they don't have the anxiety. They experience it, but they're successful in spite of their fears, in spite of their anxiety feelings, that they've learned to control their emotions rather than being controlled by them. So I felt the anxiety. And you will recall, Susana, that there was probably about a week to 10 days where I just took a break from all my connections and I just went into a cave, really. And really what I was doing in the cave is I was searching for answers and going, okay, what am I going to do here? And one of my favorite quotes, which I'm using a lot lately, and some of you might have heard me say it before, is by a guy called Sam Weiss. And he said that change is not a force to be feared, but an opportunity to be seized. I'll say it again. Change is not a force to be feared, but an opportunity to be seized. And I kept thinking to myself, this is an opportunity for me to recreate and reinvent myself. And initially it was extremely scary. And so I thought, well, how am I going to use this opportunity to recreate myself? Because when one door closes, I promise you guys, 5 others open as well. But what tends to happen is, as human beings, we're so obsessed with the journey that we've been walking. And we're like, oh, but how can this journey just come to an end? How can this door just be closed? Well, no matter how much you're going to freak out about it, the door is closed. It's pointless wishing a door was open that's closed. It's closed. And I was like, right. So I started looking for what are the opportunities. And to cut a long story short, Susana, as you said, my mission statement in life, I think it's important to have a clear mission statement, is that I think we all have a purpose in life. My personal mission statement is I believe I'm here to transform global consciousness. That's my passion. I transform global consciousness by creating a world of powerful self-expression. And up until now, I've literally been traveling the world. I've been on a flight 3 times a week, you know, going to different parts of South Africa and different parts of the world doing seminars. How amazing. From this very place I'm standing right now, I have got people on my seminars from Japan, Philippines, Australia, New Zealand, China, Thailand, India, all over Europe, Portugal, Germany, France, Italy, Spain, the UK, Sweden, Ukraine, Slovakia, all over Africa, Kenya, Zambia. I've got people from Guatemala, Brazil, the United States, Canada, Mexico. I'm actually achieving my mission of transforming global consciousness, and my carbon footprint has gone from this to this. And so change, guys, is not an opportunity, a force to be feared, but an opportunity to be seized. So when I say to believe in miracles, trust that there is an innate order, that things always work out for you if you have clarity of purpose. Especially if you're serving a higher purpose. Now, what I found is that for me, when I've managed to achieve miracles, I've noticed that when my success is not just about me being successful, but it actually has an impact on other people. And I find that then it somehow has more weight when your purpose is larger than just your own self-centered needs, but actually serves a much greater cause. And I think a great miracle is Nelson Mandela. The fact that he came out of prison and helped to transform this country in the way he did, that is a miracle. But did he have a clear intention? Did he have a clear purpose? Absolutely he did. So really when we believing in miracles, honestly guys, miracles happen all the time. But it really comes from having a clear intention and where you want to come from.
So do you think, for everybody that's watching now, Robin, what do you think is the key for activating miracles in your life? Is it having a clear intention? And what are, like, if you had to attribute 3 steps to activating miracles in your life, what would you attribute? Because what I'm getting is having a clear intention, creating a shared vision. So like getting other people to sort of buy into your vision, and then taking the action, like diving in, taking the action with absolute faith that that miracle is going to come to be. Like, am I getting those 3 steps right from you?
Well, I love that you've just given me the 3 steps. Yes, guys, these are the 3 steps. I outlined them perfectly. I couldn't have said it better myself. But actually, I do think those are the 3 steps. That is the essence of it. And so, yeah, I mean, actually, Susana said it. Just to reiterate what you said there, Susana, the first step is having a clear intention. Most people give up before they even begin. Like, that woman is like, oh, you'll never make it. And I'm like, well, maybe you won't make it. But I have a belief that I will. So most people give up before they even start the race. They haven't even begun the journey, and they already come up with reasons of why it can't work. And, you know, I think there's a great quote here by Nelson Mandela, and it says, it always seems impossible until it's done. It always seems impossible until it's done. So the naysayers, they already have reasons why it can't happen. So what they do is they focus all their intention, and I mean intention, about why it can't be done. You see, what is the other quote I wanted to share with you is that nothing great has ever been achieved by anyone who believed that there was something outside of them that was greater than what was inside of them. I didn't say the quote well, but the essence I want you to get, the greatness starts inside you. Those of you who've done the Mind Power course know that we live in two worlds at the same time. The inner world of your thoughts, feelings, attitudes, and beliefs, and the outer world of circumstance, situations, what's happening to you. The inner world is the key to your success. You can't control what's happening in the outer world until you master the inner world. So coming back to these three great points that I've just come up with, that how we believe in miracles. Number one, have a clear intention for what your outcome is. Number two, create a shared vision. This is what I came up with. Create a shared vision, and because if enough of you can hold the vision for what's possible, because by the way, how do we change the world? One man at a time. There was a man who stood on the Lincoln Memorial on the 18th of August, 1963, and he said these words, "I have a dream. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up." Now take note that Martin Luther King didn't stand there and go, "I have a dream, but things are bad, eh? Oh, things are tough, Susana. But maybe, hopefully, if we are all positive, maybe things would work out." No, he didn't. Would you agree with me that Martin Luther King spoke with a sense of certainty? He said, "I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up, and we will judge a man by the content of his character, not the color of his skin. I have a dream of a better society." And look what happened 45 years later. That was 1963. In 2008, they elected a black man as the president of the United States of America. And here's my favorite part. What did they judge him by? They judged him on the content of his character. It was not the color of his skin, but rather the content of his character. Now, who would have thought that was possible in the 1960s? Well, it only takes one to have a dream. Then, if there's enough of us who share the vision of a new way of being for mankind, if enough of us can hold the vision of something different, a new world, a new society, what starts happening is we start creating the strands of the cable so it becomes stronger and it becomes a force to be reckoned with. And then, as Susana said, step number 3, act as if it's already happened. You have absolute faith. Now, what is faith? Faith is a sense of certainty. Faith is a vibration of energy. Faith is believing in something even though everything else proves to the contrary that it can't happen. And so you act with faith and certainty that not only will it happen, you live as if it has happened. So you're already in the space. I was in the plane, I was drinking my champagne while I'm running like a madman to try and board the flight. I'm holding this vision. And so those are the 3 steps that I've come up with, Susana, about how like that. I think they're great.
I am going to add 2 more steps, actually, thanks.
Are you going to add 2 steps to my 3 steps?
I do. They're your steps, actually. I mean, as everybody watching knows, like, the reason why I love Thrive Network is I absolutely do it from a place of service, but I also am the eternal student. I'm the eternal student, and I know that by conversing with great teachers, great thinkers, great coaches, great healers, that I am learning constantly. And that, I mean, ask Robin, when we were working together, I'd always arrive and go, "Robin, have you read this? Robin, have you looked up this?" Like, that's just the way I am built. That's who I am as a person. So you broke up there, Banks?
I was saying, giving me books, giving me audios, giving me all sorts of speakers to follow.
Yes, it's important. I think it's important to embrace being the eternal student. Although I am now stepping into being a teacher myself after many years of Robin going, Susana, you're a teacher, a speaker, do it. I'm now not only, you know, creating platforms where teachers are teaching, but I've also started teaching myself. I do always believe that I will be the eternal student for the rest of my life. There's always someone who knows more than you. There's always someone who knows less than you. Learn, pass on knowledge. That is my way of being. So the other two that I was going to say, which actually come from our session today, and then we know these things, Banks, and I'm just putting it in order because I think that it's easier for the listeners out there to kind of really take note of the steps. But the action, like you were saying, having absolute faith and doing it as if it's already happened, that is so important. Believing, number 4, believing that the universe has your back. Just believing, and that dips into that faith. Believing that everything that happens, no matter what happens, that the universe has your back, that it will work out the best thing for you. And that's where point number 5 comes. Surrender to the outcome. Whatever happens is going to be the best thing for you. Whether you thought, like if you'd missed that plane, Robin, I guarantee that there would have been a reason why you had missed that plane and you'd needed to stay here for that day. And I believe that with all my heart. And so when I've got a saying that says it's not rejection, it's redirection. And when I say rejection, I mean that anything that doesn't go your way, anything that doesn't pan out the way you pictured it happening, if it shifts, it's just redirection to something better, something that is more meant for you. And so those would be the 2 added things that I would add there. And there are things you speak about, but I think that now gives whoever's listening very actionable thought processes to go through.
And the thing to bear in mind about the 5th step you've mentioned, one of my favorite quotes, which is by a book called Conversations with God by Neil Donald Walsh. In fact, this is from book 5, which is called Communion with God. And I love this statement, and I think it's so applicable. A true master always has intentions. A true master always has clear intentions, but accepts whatever happens as the perfect outcome. Mm-hmm. A true master always has clear intentions, but accepts whatever happens as the perfect outcome. So people often say to me, so Robin, do you manifest everything that you put? Good God, no. Thank heavens, no. Because sometimes the things you are wanting to manifest might not actually be the best outcome, or it might not be the best thing for your soul's purpose. So sometimes I would say, if I look at my vision board, I don't manifest everything on this board. In fact, there's one thing that I've actually changed my mind on. I've got a Learjet over here. And for the longest time, I thought, actually, I'd love to have a Learjet because I'll be able to travel the world, get there much quicker, transform people's lives. And I always say to people, make sure some of my goals are must-have, some of them nice to have. Having a Learjet is a nice to have. It's not a must-have, not by any means. But as I've been in lockdown and I've been looking at my vision board every day because it's everywhere I go, I've thought to myself, is Learjet really my highest purpose? Is it really serving this planet, or is it adding to the carbon footprint? And I suddenly thought, that's actually a little bit of arrogance on my side. There's something there that's not quite in alignment with what I'm actually wanting to create, which is a harmonious, healthy world, a planet where we can live and thrive together. Thrive, Susana, thrive. And so the Learjet is no longer in alignment for me. Now, I haven't taken it off because I'm like, that was always a nice to have. It wasn't a must have. Because I'm actually preferring even though I miss live events, I still plan to do them, but my carbon is so much smaller, and I'm making a difference in this planet, not just by uplifting consciousness, but playing my part in a better way. Yeah. So why I'm saying this to you is that trust that not everything that you have is going to manifest, and then trust, well, if you don't manifest those things, maybe it's not really for your highest purpose. Exactly. So I'm aware of our time, and I want to finish off by telling you my last story. about believing in miracles.
Mm.
So I remember it was in 2016. And I even remember the date. It was the 18th of November, 2016. Why do I remember the date? It was my birthday, 46th birthday. And I was flying from Australia to Auckland, New Zealand, because I had a talk in Auckland the next night. And I was going the day before. It was my birthday, and my client, a friend of mine, Martin Cooper, super duper Martin Cooper, had invited me to come and have dinner with him and celebrate my birthday with him and his wife, and my business manager Sonia was there with us, etc. As I got to the airport and I was going through and I scanned my passport, it said declined. And I went, huh? And I scanned it again, it said declined. And the immigration officer came up to me. Now, please, you do not mess with the Australian immigration officers. Those guys are hectic, bro, hectic. This guy comes up, he says, sorry, Mike, could we see you over here on the side, please? So I said to him, I said, I'm sure, Mike. I said, yeah, I said, sure. I said, what's wrong? I said, yeah, we just want to have a look at your visa. So I said, oh, no, my visa's definitely valid. I know my visa's valid. I said, well, we'll find out about that, won't we? And I went, huh? Anyhow, I got to the desk and I opened my bag and I took out my visa and I looked, I went, I said, yeah. I said, no, it's definitely valid. I said, look, it says valid until the 8th of January, 2019. Entry no later than 8th of January. He says, mate, would you read that properly, please? So I read through the whole document and it says, in essence, it says it's a 3-month visa, valid from the first date of entry for 3 months. Entry no later than the 8th of January. And I suddenly realized that I entered into the country at the beginning of August. And so I went to Australia, did some talks, went back to South Africa, and then went back to do my 5-week Mind Power seminar at the series at the time. And so basically, my visa had expired on the 8th of November, September, October, November. It had expired 10 days earlier, but all I wanted was that entry no later than the 8th of January. And I went, oh, shit. And I said to the guy, I'm so sorry. I said, I really didn't get that. I said, I so misunderstood. I thought I could stay here until the 8th of January. He says, all right, mate, I can see that was an honest mistake. We were just making sure that you weren't doing something illegal because we'd never let you back into the country, but I won't put this as a black mark on your application for visa. You can I said, yeah, but I said, I've just got a slight challenge. I've got a seminar on Tuesday night, and I've got about 300 people who are going to be in this. Please, can you give me a visa? He says, mate, that's none of my business. He says, get out of my country. I said, no, but will there be? He says, mate, leave my country, please. And I was like, oh, shit. Man, now to say I was feeling lots of feelings would be an understatement. Because one of the things is when you're in a challenging situation, hold your energy up, focus your mind, focus your thoughts, focus your energy, and don't go into, oh no, because then everything drops down. So if you had been walking behind me, it would have been a very funny experience, because I was literally going, shit. Right, I can do this. There's always a way when you're committed. You'll find a way. Shit. Oh my God, this is going to be a complete disaster. Robin, focus your energy. And I mean, literally, as I was walking, I was going up and down and up and down. I phoned my business manager, Sonia, and I said, listen. And she goes, how fascinating. I said, yes. Isn't it rather fascinating? She said, so what are you going to do about it? I said, great question. I said, well, obviously, by the time I land, the consulate will be closed. Please, can you see if you can get me an appointment with the Australian consulate tomorrow morning? And she says, yeah, I'll give them a call. That flight, I was super focused. Now, here's the key. I didn't entertain the negative side. I had faith, and I held this vision because I was working. I cleared my email box. I was doing my mind power. I didn't even watch a movie. For 3 hours, I was focusing my energy in creative ways. And I was like holding this intention that this miracle is going to take place. Anyway, I got to New Zealand and I said hello to Sonia. I said, so news for me? She says, yes, I've got some interesting news. I said, what's that? She says, well, you can't get an appointment for the next 3 weeks. And I went, that's interesting. Isn't it just? She says, you could fly down to Dunedin, which is a 2-hour flight, but then you're going to miss your talk tomorrow, and there's 1,000 people booked. I said, yeah, not really an option. She says, no, I think your client would be pretty pissed. And I went, yeah, well, we'll have to find another way. I went, and I swear to you, I enjoyed my birthday. I told my client, we all laughed and thought, well, this is going to be a great opportunity to practice what you preach. And I really enjoyed my evening. The next morning, first thing, I was on the phone. And I Australian Consulate, and I told her my story. I said, is there any chance I can have an appointment today? She says, sir, I can have an appointment. The first slot was 3 weeks time. I said, but is there any way? She says, no, sir, I'm serious. Back to back. I said, if there was a way, how could it happen that I could have it today? She says, well, I guess you could speak to my manager. So I said, okay, please can I speak to your manager? I spoke to her manager, shared the experience with her, and I'm cutting the story short. And after a while, she says, okay, sir, I can see this is really important to you. Be at 5 o'clock today. I said, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I will be there. I said, by the way, I've got a talk at 7 o'clock, and it's an hour's drive away in traffic. Is there any chance I could be there? Sir, 5 o'clock. And I thought, right. That was like 5 o'clock. I was there at 5 o'clock. In fact, and at 5 o'clock, I tell him the story, and I hand in the visa because I filled out the forms. He said, sir, this is the wrong visa application. I'm like, oh. I had to redo the whole form. My business manager, Yvette in South Africa, drove in the middle of the night. She's getting me forms. At 6:30, they closed it up. Well, they closed earlier. They stayed open. I'm handing in the visa. And there's about 3 of them at my desk. And as I'm handing in the visa application, I said, guys, thank you so, so much. I said, really, really appreciate it. I said, now, what are the chances that I'm going to get this visa tomorrow? And they all cracked up laughing. And they said, sir, it's going to take, she says, first of all, let me explain to you that it usually takes 3 weeks to get an Australian visa approved. And she says, and it's the festive season. Lots of people are traveling. She says, it's going to take a miracle for you to get this visa tomorrow. I said, oh, geez, thank goodness for that. She says, what did you say? I said, thank goodness. She says, what do you mean, thank goodness for that? She said, well, I said, well, you said it's going to take a miracle for it to come through tomorrow. She says, yes. I said, well, I just happen to believe in miracles. She cracks up laughing. She says, sir, how can you be positive at a time like this? So I said to her, could you think of a more important time to be positive than now? And she says, that's a good point. She says, what do you do for a living? I said, I teach people to be positive. She said, you must be really good. I said, I'm really good. Anyhow, so before we, I said, now, I want you guys all hold the vision with me. Step 2, all hold the vision. I said, I want you all to touch this piece of paper. It was before Corona days. I said, touch this piece of paper. And I said, I want you to all say, Dominus te kumala marunda man. The visa comes through tomorrow. The visa comes through tomorrow. And they cracking up laughing. And I sent it off with love. The next day, boy, was I praying. I was holding the vision. 4:30 that day, I was playing golf. And I think the entire city heard me scream because I got an email. Your visa has been approved. One day, Susana, I believe in miracles. I believe in miracles. And right now, more than ever before, guys, we as a society need to believe in miracles. We are creating a new way of being for mankind. This is not a force to be. This is an opportunity to be seized. Let's take this time to reinvent ourselves. Look at your dreams, look at your goals, and ask yourself, is it really in alignment with your highest purpose? What do you really stand for? Is it just about the nice cars and the Lear jets and the homes that you live in? Or are you serving a much greater purpose? Something that is beyond who you are. Because you see, I believe the reason why I often achieve miracles is that it often involves making a difference in other people's lives. And when you are serving a higher purpose, you'll find that the energy is much more cohesive, and you'll find that your success rate is much higher. That's been my experience. So I believe in miracles. Miracles shall follow miracles. Shall never cease. I give thanks for this perfect day.
Beautiful, thanks. And I love that because you gave me 2 more points for the audience to take notes of.
By next week.
Guys, it is 11 o'clock in the morning. And what happens at 11 o'clock in the morning? Well, it all started with a thank you to essential workers. But what I do now is just howl 3 times and say, thank you, more please, to just raise the vibration. And that's actually point number 6. What Robin said over and over again, if you notice in all of his stories, was that he said, even when he was like, oh, I'm so stressed, he pulled himself together and he walked with strength. It's about having that energy vibration. When he said, it was all about creating a happy vibration. When we do things, when we do actions, when we live from a vibration of joy and gratitude, it is the fastest, quickest way of attracting more of what we want. And so having just that vibration, even if you can just do that, it'll create many little miracles that you just didn't think were possible. So I hope you will join me to raise the vibration. We will howl 3 times and then say, thank you, more please. Banks, are you ready? Okay.
I am.
1, 2, 3. Thank you, Mom, please.
Thank you.
And then the last one, the last point that Robin said was live in purpose. And you know, thrive in wealth is about that. I know that it sounds like wealth, but wealth is the heading. Wealth is abundance, but wealth is really about living in meaning, in freedom, in purpose, serving something that is not just yourself, but a greater good. And when we live from that place, our lives are not the only ones that are affected greatly. Others are affected as well. And a lot of people think that their work needs to just be 9 to 5. It's not. Live from a place of true love and excitement on giving this gift to the world, and your whole life will transform. So Banks, thank you so much for today. It was always, like always, I love connecting with you. I love your mind. I love your energy. I love your spirit. So thank you for sharing it with all that are watching today.
Gorgeous.
Well, you know, that comes forth. But you do have a gorgeous face as well.
Great being with you guys. Thank you so much. Lots of love to everyone. Believe in miracles.
Thank you so much, Banks. And to everybody that's watching, thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed this, please let me know what stood out for you as the point that made the most difference, because there are 2 types of miracles. There are these miracles that we discussed right now, but a miracle is also just a change in perception, a change in understanding. When we understand something differently, it ripples out and it opens up possibilities in all areas of our lives. So those are the 2 types of miracles that I'm constantly discussing. So please let me know what in this discussion resonated with you the most. Please tag anyone that you feel would gain something from listening to this conversation today, and share this post if you found it valuable. Thank you again so much. Lots of love and light. I will be back at 12:30 with Norma Simon. I'll see you all soon. Bye for now.
Bye.